I want you to change the world, and don't think that this is going to happen peacefully or you can do it alone. We need to kill the rich, okay? We need to get out there, use your weapons, and rip Washington apart.
Good morning, everyone. It is April 21st, 2018. I'm Eric. I'm here at the Free Thought Project. Thousands of people in only one state have been in jail for over a year and never proven guilty. Jack Burns is the author. Nearly 500,000 Americans are currently being held in jail while they are denied their constitutional rights to a speedy trial. The problem has become so pervasive that many critics of the American judicial system are up in arms over the phenomenon. In Louisiana alone, there are over 2,000 people who have been languishing in jail for more than a year, all waiting for a chance to prove their innocence. The Louisiana Sheriff's Association was forced to clarify just how bad the problem is after its executive director, Mike Ronsa, overstated the number during a recent testimony on the issue. He clarified by breaking down the total number and noting that of those 2,181 people, 1,507 have been held between 1 and 2 years without a trial. 448 had been held between 2 and 3 years without a trial. 141 had been held 3 or 4 years without a trial. 85 people had been held more than 4 years without a trial. Due process, right? Proven until innocent until proven guilty, right? Wrong. To many, the number may not seem that large, but to an inmate who may be innocent, having to sit in jail knowing he is innocent for, at times, more than 4 years without a trial, must be maddening. Worse still, it demonstrates the judicial system's willingness to allow someone to be punished before they are proven guilty in a court of law. So we don't have a rule of law in this country. According to a report from America's Quarterly, in most jurisdictions in the Americas, authorities are required by law to bring an arrested individual before a judicial officer within 24 to 72 hours of arrest. If the accused is not released on personal recognizance or cannot afford bail, the individual may spend months in detention while his or her case is pending. A defendant's inability to afford bail becomes, in effect, a prison sentence. Probably nowhere is the problem more pervasive than in Cook County, Illinois, where Sheriff Tom Dart presides over the Cook County Jail Facility. Dart recently told CBS News half of the jail's nearly 7,500 inmates should not even be in jail. He said jails had become a dumping ground for the poor, the mentally ill, and for gang members. I would suggest conservatively that half of the people here in the jail shouldn't be here. Dart said that is a conservative estimate and could be much higher. He explained the issue, echoing sentiments by critics of the current judicial system who say that it is broken and must be fixed. Can't fix what's intentional. They don't pose a danger to anybody. The people in most jails, and 95% of people in this jail, are waiting on trial. So everybody here are people who haven't been convicted yet. So you say to yourself, all right, they're presumed innocent. Who is so dangerous that we need to hold them here while they're waiting on trial? Rapists, murderers, armed robbers, and child molesters. That's it. The commonsensical approach to the question is not being answered by the system. Instead, jails are filling to capacity with people who presumably know they're getting a raw deal. Tensions boil over, and then violence erupts within the jails, the effects and consequences of which result in many inmates and corrections officers being injured on duty. In a recent example, 7 inmates were killed and 17 injured after fights broke out at the Lee Correctional Institution in Bishopville, South Carolina, adding insult to injury. When inmates' cases are finally addressed in court, the cases are often dropped, dismissed, or plea deals offered for time served. Those who are locked away awaiting trial are considered jailed under praetoria's detention status. As America's Quarterly noted, in the U.S., which has the largest pretrial detention population in the I better say that one again. As America's Quarterly noted, in the U.S., which has the largest pre-trial detention population in the world, 20% of detainees eventually had their cases dismissed or were acquitted. Unfortunately, being jailed without a speedy trial under pretrial detention status can be detrimental and damaging to an inmate's health and mental well-being. America's Quarterly described the effects of being jailed without a speedy trial. The loss of liberty and security and being cut off from friends and family can result in lasting psychological impact. Furthermore, exposure to violence among detainees, threats of violence from other inmates and even guards, and direct violence ranging from acts of humiliation to physical violence or sexual assault also often traumatize individuals. America's Quarterly insists the effects on the individual who has been jailed without a speedy trial are not limited to physical or emotional damage, but financial as well. Not only do many, if not most, lose their jobs while jailed awaiting trial, but a cycle of poverty often results. And it's true, I know firsthand. Detention can cause lost wages, loss of employment, which carries severe collateral consequences for the individual, his or her family, and society at large. The loss of income and the ability to support family members or pay for housing may drive some individuals to criminal activity. It also creates a vicious cycle, many of whose those caught in pretrial detention are already poor and unable to afford bail, which further hampers their ability to obtain legal counsel that can help them negotiate the pitfalls of the judicial system. In Louisiana, a few people in positions of power have a clear solution of what needs to be done to move the state's jailed awaiting trial through the system. NOLA.com reported that many have expressed outrage, but with a broken system, no one seems to know what to do to expedite an inmate's constitutional rights to a speedy trial. According to the report from MOLA.com, Representative Pat Smith, Democrat from Baton Rouge, said holding more than 2,000 people for longer than a year before they get before a judge is still unconscionable. The reason so many people are being held for so long without a trial are complicated and based on several factors. I would really be remiss in my duties if I said that this was a very simplistic equation. It's a classification nightmare for us. It's better for us, for the individual, to move through the system. And look, the only way you're going to get through the system with any kind of speed is by taking a fucking plea deal. And that's what happens to a lot of people. A lot of people aren't even guilty of the crime they plead guilty to, but they simply plead guilty so that they can get out of jail and move on with their damn lives. And that's really the truth of the matter. A lot of the convicted felons of this country didn't actually do what they were convicted of. And it is fucking disgusting, because they're supposed to give up their gun rights. They're supposed to give up every right they have after they've been convicted. You know, okay, commit the crime, do the time, but what about after the time is served? Why is the rest of your life spent serving time? You may have the ability to go to find employment, maybe, if you're lucky enough. But it's never the same again. Your life is never the same again. And it really does keep getting worse after you end up pleading guilty just to get out of jail. I've made this point numerous times in my videos, and it's wrong to hold people against their will for shit that either they didn't do or shit that there was no victim involved. If there's no victim, there's no crime. Anyway, thought I'd share this with you. Hope you all have a good day. Remember, kill the state before the state kills you.